So how's it going, guys? I'm sorry, I said I was gonna make one as soon as I could, but I've been super busy, like I said. But I got some really exciting news. Today I got given a tarantula, so I'm gonna rehouse it. I'll quickly show you what it's in now and a few things that I'm gonna change, and then I'll change it. So ideally, this size enclosure is perfect. The substrate level is perfect. Everything is perfect. The only thing that I'm not enjoying is the lid, but I probably won't change that tonight. And also how wet the soil is. The soil is quite wet. I think it's a bit wet. Like I'm squeezing drops of water out of that. So I'll rip all that out and chuck it in the garden. I will see if I can get her out, which is a giant fat no. So I'm gonna turn this off and I'll get her out and then see where we go from there. So she's quite big. There she is. She's not coming off this thing. So I think I'm going to struggle to get her in that. While I change all of this. But yeah, that is her. The soil is very wet, a little bit too wet, but that's okay. So the reason why I got the spider for free is because the guy lost it. It got out on the weekend, and I was talking to him on Gumtree about his privacy settings and that he probably shouldn't have his real name and address on Gumtree. We started talking. He asked if I could come help him, but he lives an hour away from me. So he said that if I came down and helped him find the spider, because the spider got out the other day, I could have the spider. So I went down there to help him, and just as I got there, they caught the spider. So went and talked to him, and he said that I could still have it. I feel bad for taking it, but hopefully we'll be able to give the spider a little bit of a better life. So. Because he's got lots of pets and he's pretty busy, so that's all good though. So I'm going to empty out this little tank and give it a bit of a clean, and then clean some of the substrate because I don't know what's been in it. I did find a bug in it before, and ideally I'm not going to want any foreign insects in there that I don't know of. So I cleaned out the glass container, but now I've got to get some of this shredded coconut, whatever the hell it's called, and just separate it into a different container and just sieve through it a bit and see if I can find anything weird in it, and then fill up this container, and then I will get back to you. So I sorted through most of the soil. I found an earwig and 2 millipedes, so hopefully none of that is in here because that probably won't end too well. But the substrate is nice and soft. It's damp, but it's not, you can't squeeze water out of it. And that's how you want it. You don't want it too wet. But yeah, that is nice. And I will sort this out, get it to the right level, and then show you the rest of it. So this is it complete. Most of it is filled with substrate, and the substrate is fairly level. I am, maybe this will fit. I don't know. Yeah, that fits. Alright, so I'm just gonna put that one in there for now. But I will change it later. I've just got to find something better. The other thing is too tall. It was buried half the way under the soil. I don't want to put it back in there, so I will find something else to put in there. So it's not the best setup. It was just a quick one, just because I didn't want the soil to be so wet. As damp as the soil is now, it's good, but soaking wet to the point where you can pick it up and there's water droplets, that's a bit too much in my opinion. But if you have had a lot of experience with tarantulas and have your substrate that wet, then comment on my videos if it works, and maybe I'm doing it wrong. I'm still new to this. This is my second tarantula. And my first one is still just a tiny little baby sling. He's just in the corner there. But yeah, he's only tiny. So that was all my experience with tarantulas. And I only got this one for free because I reached out and helped somebody. So I'm gonna try and get her in there, which is gonna be interesting because she does not want to move. And hopefully she enjoys it a little bit better because it's not so wet in there. You don't want it too wet because I'm assuming she can't dig too well if it is soaking wet. So if it is just fluffy, light, damp, it should be good. It should be a little bit better. In theory, it makes lots of sense. Practicalness, I have no clue. I'm just making this up as I go. I got her out after a little bit of push and pulling, and she's in here. So that is about the size of the enclosure compared to her, which is a alright size, I guess. I'll see how she goes in this with feeding and stuff like that and the design, and then change it up maybe once she settles down a little bit. I was planning on gonna change this log tomorrow, but she seems a little bit stressed out, so I might just leave her for a little bit and see how she goes. So this is the enclosure in there. Sorry, the light bulb just blew in this room, so you can't really see anything, but the enclosure is in another enclosure. There's my crickets, just 2 empty containers, some of the substrate that I managed to find, and my little tiny one in his little tiny home up here. And then there's her in there, we'll just let her settle down for tonight. And hopefully tomorrow she'll be a little bit happier with the not so wet environment. I'll have to go get some bigger crickets because the crickets that I feed my one are way too tiny for her. So yeah, and hopefully that works. Thank you for watching, and I will keep you updated with this, and hopefully I will be doing videos more regularly now because yeah, I have to. Thank you, have a good night, stay awesome.